Hello, Dave. It's great to have you. If you just introduce yourself, please.
Sure. I am David Segui, owner of ISmash Tampa.
Perfect. So we read a little bit about you, so we'll get straight to the questions. So we know that you sold your insurance company before at the age of 46, and you were ready to retire and go to Florida, as everyone wants to. But ISmash made you change your mind. So if you could just walk us through how that could possibly happen.
It's a long story, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But my best friend and I had probably 55 years combined insurance experience in various forms. Um, no one dreams about insurance, but it's a means to an end. It was very profitable for me. Um, Started with 12 grand. I won't tell you what I sold it for, but um, after a lot of hard work, um, I got an offer I couldn't refuse, like they say in The Godfather, and decided to retire and do something different. As best friends always do, they talk about having a business together. Ooh, we should do this. We should open a bar. We should open a restaurant. And a friend of ours had a poor experience at another rage room in Tampa that is now not in operation anymore. Um, so my friend and I were like, huh, we can do this. Why not? Who wants to go back to insurance? It was always a cushion to fall back on insurance if we wanted to do something. We're like, oh, we're done with that. Let's do something exciting. Um, so it really that's just how quickly it happened. It wasn't something we had talked about at length. We heard about a poor experience, like, huh, we can do that, and did the research. Um, Reached out to iSmash, which was young at the time, still young, but um, almost a newborn. Um, Met Steve quickly. As soon as they replied to our inquiry, we flew to Rochester, New York, immediately fell in love. It was love at first sight, like with your girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other. It was immediate love. My best friend and I looked at each other, and within an hour of being there, and we were like, "This is what we have to do." The rest is history. We signed that contract as quickly as we legally could, and as they say, the rest is history.
Awesome. Um,
Miriam, do you mind if I ask a follow-up question there? Cool. So I think for when we talk to ZORs that are looking for, prospective franchisees, one thing it almost becomes like a cliche. They say has to know how to follow the system. So many times they're actually wary of getting entrepreneurs that build their own business because you might come in and say, I think we should do it this way or that way. So how did you balance kind of your experience building, selling a business with humility that is needed to respect someone else's vision as a franchisee?
I'm going to say some things that some people might not like. A franchisor who just wants a yes man, I think, is doing themselves a disservice. Um, I've got so much experience. I started a company with nothing and sold it for a nice chunk of change. My best friend managed a national insurer for 25 plus years. We have a lot of experience to offer anyone. And if you're so egotistical or, to think that you can't learn something from someone else, I think you're foolish and doing yourself a disservice. Steve, I love Steve. Just good kid, smart man, just genius. He's the CEO. Um, he understands that my partners and I have a lot to offer. He wants input. A franchisor should want input from their franchisees on how to make the system better. No one knows everything. So our relationship with Steve is great. We don't rock the boat, but if we have a suggestion, Steve's all ears. That's one of the best things about the ISmash franchise is that they want to listen. We have town hall meetings. We're constantly giving and taking feedback. So we have a great relationship. So if you talk to any franchisors who don't care what their franchisees have to say, you might want to send those prospects to ISmash and talk to them about buying a unit. Maybe not in our little territory, but North Florida, South Florida. But yeah, I don't understand that notion, honestly.
So
Perfect. So, a lot of people in our audience maybe just don't know, like, what exactly the rage rooms are. So if you, explain to us what they are, and also, like, do they actually help kind of like curb your anger or just a fun activity? So if people like also try it once, do they come back? Is it a repeat activity?
Oh, all right. So yeah, we could be here for 4 hours. We've got, well, as you say that, you might see me look to my right. We have Enterprise Rent a Car rented the facility for 2 hours today. And then we have another company from 5:30 to 8 p.m. rented the entire facility. So we're going to have a ton of people on a Wednesday smashing and throwing axes. So you might hear some of the screaming, you might hear some music. It's one of the reasons why I want to do this from the office is so you can kind of get a little feel, maybe hear a little, of the celebration that's going on. So our rage rooms, we have 4 rage rooms, by the way, um, designed to help customers deal with not just anger and stress, but grief. We have people come in to celebrate. A young lady came in last week and she was breaking down on the floor in joy. I thought she was getting out some stress. She was happy she just landed a new job. So it's not just rage that people are dealing with. So we give our customers a wide array of glassware and consumer electronics. Eve boards are my favorite, by the way. When you smack them with a hammer, the keys go everywhere. It's a lot of fun. I do patronize my own rage room, by the way. So windshields, uh, glass bottles filled with confetti, powder, and it's just it's a lot of fun. Baseball bats. So some of the weapons, I call them weapons of mass destruction. Steve likes it when we call them tools. We have baseball bats, sledgehammers, crowbars, mallets. Um, uh, People love throwing plates like frisbees. It's one of my favorite things. And we can hold up to 15 people in our rage rooms. So we do a lot of team building exercises for local companies, a lot of birthday parties, especially on a Saturday or Sunday. You got to book in advance because we are wall to wall on a weekend. It's exciting. No one leaves unhappy. That was another one of the major selling points. It wasn't just that iSmash had a profitable, the profit margins are great. But after, 20 years of my own business, I want to do something different. And this is exciting. You've got all walks of life coming in to take advantage of the 3 activities we offer, and no one leaves unhappy. Everybody's got a smile on their face, and for us, it's contagious. We love it. And I think our Google reviews, we got 1,000 Google reviews almost 5-star because we know how to take care of the customer and we tailor our experiences to the customer. If the customer celebrating an occasion, we want to know. If you're going through a breakup, we want to know. We'll put a picture of an ex on something for you to break. I mean, it's all about making sure everyone has a great time. And we do get a lot of repeat business because we have 3 activities. So there's something for everyone, ages 3 and up. And once you experience the rage room, you finally know what it's like. First timers, they're like, oh, I'm coming back, and here's what I want for the next time. I want a windshield this time. I'm going to send you a picture. Can I request a printer or a TV? The answer is yes. As long as it's not illegal and won't hurt anyone, I'm all for it.
To some of us, like that concept of crushing things like might sound dangerous, and you worked in insurance as well. So Like, are there ever any accidents, especially with like axes when people throw stuff and if there's like alcohol involved? Like, how does all of this work out?
That's a good and funny question because it's so opposite. I mean, how do you go from insurance for 20 plus years to breaking crap? It's a huge, huge difference. So we haven't had, knock on wood, I have to knock on wood, I don't want to jinx this, a year and a half open. The only injuries we get is somebody cuts their hand on a piece of glass that we tell them they shouldn't pick up from the floor, but you get that adrenaline going, you get excitement. So, but that's the extent of it. So it was, I think I experienced more damage in the insurance industry than I did in smashing stuff here. So, um, no, no, I'm not worried about our liability. And we have everyone in our place right now has face shields, goggles, heavy duty gloves, coveralls, closed-toed shoes. So if you're going to break something at ISmash, you're doing it as safely as possible. So you're full. It's riot gear. I mean, you can come here and survive the zombie apocalypse with what gear we have to protect yourself.
That's reassuring. Yeah, thank you. So if we come back to the moment where your friend had a rage room or had an experience at a different rage room, so that was just an independent business, and whatever made you guys choose ISmash. So if you help us understand, like, what is the difference between, just a guy or a girl opening a room, like renting a space and letting people smash it there versus like the franchise that you guys have built.
Yeah, we thought about doing it ourselves. We were close. We thought we had it all figured out. 50 years in business. Oh, we know it all. Goes back to what we were talking about earlier. We didn't know it all. There's a lot involved if you're going to do it right. Anyone can do something halfway. You probably won't be as successful as you could be. So when we spoke to Steve and I Smash, they had everything lined out. I mean, it was streamlined. The entire system was easy. So it was like, oh, I get to own a rage room and not have to reinvent the wheel. Sold. Okay, I pay a royalty. Okay, it's small compared to other businesses. It was a no-brainer. I don't have to worry about starting from scratch. So that was the whole reason why we decided to go with the franchise instead of doing it on our own. And we're happy with that decision every day.
Perfect. So we have already a bunch of very specific questions from the audience coming up, so we'll delve into them.
Uh-oh,
But
uh-oh.
before then, so you mentioned that you have 4 locations now. So if you just walk us through, when you opened the first one, the second one, how did you make those decisions? What's next?
Okay, so I just want to make clear. So we own this one store. Within 3 months of opening, we knew we had a home run. It was zero doubt. So 3 months from the date we opened, we decided to open 6 more. So then the next 6 aren't open yet. We are scouting locations now. So one is open, but we are opening 6 more. And if I have my way, and if I could clone myself or somehow reverse time, I'd open 15 more. We're very bullish on the future of this franchise, especially here in Florida. So who knows? 6 is on the agenda. The next 2 we're planning to open this year. We're scouting locations. I hate talking about where those might be because people get excited and they're like, when are you coming here? Why are you going over there first? And there's a lot of buzz, but if I have my way, 2 will be open in 2025. Um, Maybe 3 if we get lucky. It's about finding the right spot for us. But yeah, 6 more coming for us anyway as franchisees in the next couple of years.
Yep.
Cool.
So Miriam, do you mind? I just now that he's talking of locations, I might tie one of the questions from Brandon because I see Brandon has a bunch of them. But one of the questions is in terms of size and square footage wise of the locations, he hears there are two models. So is that true? How does that work?
All right. So if I have my way, and it's all about the commercial market. Depends on availability and pricing. If I have my way, all of my future locations will have 7,000 square feet of space minimum, um, for various reasons. I want bigger event rooms. I want bigger smash rooms. I want more axe lanes. I would love more space. We're in 5,200 square feet of space right now, and we're a little tight. We are making every inch, we're putting every inch of this place to work. There's no wasted space here. So, can you pull it off with 5,000 square feet in order for all three? Oh, yeah, you could. Um, but I would love a bigger space, really. Um, and for us, a bigger space, especially in this location, would mean more revenue. But unfortunately, the pickings were slim when we were scouting locations. So um, some of these future locations look promising as far as size. So hopefully, I'll have my way, and there'll be 7,000 plus square feet.
Perfect. And then a few more questions regarding like the opening. So one from Siva is how long did it take for you to start your business, like actually launch once the franchise was finalized? So I think it's kind of like asking about the build out and maybe the ramp up to, a fully functional business.
Good question. Good question. From the time we started construction till opening with permitting, 7.5 months. And it was only that long because we were in an empty shell of a space. So we had no air conditioning, no plumbing, sprinkler system was virtually non-existent. So we had to do a lot of build out from scratch, which I don't recommend. We as a franchise now have a GC consultant on staff, a real estate agency on staff, um, to walk you through some of the ins and outs, some of the do's and don'ts. And I don't mind having conversations with future prospects about what to avoid. It wasn't the franchise's fault. We just didn't have, my partner and I didn't have a lot of commercial real estate experience. So we didn't understand that, not having some of these things and permitting would have prolonged the grand opening. So about 7.5 months. We figure these next locations, based on our experience, are going to take 3 or 4 months. So we're going to cut that down almost in half.
Perfect. So another like technical question. So how do you source your props? Is the supply guaranteed?
I don't like giving out trade secrets. Junk is big business. I don't like calling it junk, but some people do. It's big business. We source our goods from multiple locations, um, simply because we can. The franchise is great in that they gave us a lot of contacts. They set up the contracts. I didn't have to do it. I mean, based on my experience, this is one of the reasons I'm happy to have had a franchise because they called all the junkers and all the suppliers and secured all the vendors for us. Sometimes you have to pivot and find some on your own, but they found everyone for us. And I'm not worried about the supply. I know that there are discussions about long-term demand and supply, and I'm confident we'll never have a problem having enough stuff to destroy.
That's good to hear. So
Yeah.
another question from the audience. Are you buying the real estate spaces or renting them to set up these 6 locations? Is there
I
one you
wanna,
for?
I'm sorry, this is a conversation. I love this question because I want to be like McDonald's. Everybody's like, oh, you think it's too big. No, I want to own every building. If I can, I want to own every building that there's an ISmash because I want to be in the real estate business. I would love to own in an ideal world, my future locations won't just be 7,000 square feet. I will own the building. And then if I ever decide to sell my store, I still own the property. I don't know that that'll ever happen, but it's all about opportunity. And I'm bullish on real estate too. So if you have the opportunity to buy a building, have at it. I wish I could. If you know somebody with, a couple $1 million they want to throw my way, come talk to me.
To be honest, we've heard this strategy from someone else, like Ben Little, and he talks about how he has an opco and a propco, and really that's a great way to build long-term wealth. You're if as long as because you'll be a good tenant. So if you
Oh,
have so that's kind of the whole game.
100%. 100%. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm open to having. We have a lot of, how should I say, a lot of pans in the fryer, or whatever. Just we have a lot going on right now as far as franchisees are concerned, because there is just so much opportunity. So we're having a lot of discussions on how to expand, but you don't want to expand too fast. So who knows? I would love to own the buildings, honestly. Um, I think that's the smart play. We didn't have that opportunity 2 years ago, unfortunately. Um, but who knows what's going to happen in the next 6 months? It's on our radar.
Perfect. And if we have a follow-up regarding the supply, so does the franchisor doesn't support the sourcing of props? It's a question. And how do you assure sanitation of the props? Thinking of liability here.
All right, so that's a two-part. That's, in my opinion, that's a two-parter. Um, the franchise or hooked us up with all the people to get them. Now, they don't produce the breakables yet. I'm just throwing that out there. They don't. ISmash doesn't produce them yet. Will they one day? Maybe. I don't want to give out too many secrets. I think that would be a smart play as far as the franchisor is concerned to source it. Um, so sanitation of the gear, though, I'm not. It all comes to us clean. It's not dirty. It's all already comes to us. Um, if you think bigger picture without giving away our sources, um, stuff gets donated all the time. Pallets of glassware donated, or sold on the cheap. Um, that's easy to come by. It's already clean. It was sitting in somebody's cupboard. Um, Electronics. We have recyclers all over the place who get these from your home. You can't throw away some pieces. You have to take them to a recycler. We get those items. They're clean because they were household products. And then we're a green company. So after they're destroyed, we send them back to be recycled again. So hopefully that answers those questions. So I'm not worried about the source. iSmash knows what they're doing. We have zero worries about the items we receive. And when they come to us, they're sanitary. Now, you know, I have local restaurants in my shopping center who are happy to give us all of their beer bottles and alcohol bottles, and we don't say no. And you wash them out. We have a sink, you wash them. That's it. It's real simple.
Perfect. So we'll step away from these technicalities for just a bit and kind of just ask, like, who are the customers? Like, what are the demographics, like age, breakdown, and kind of like following that, what is the cyclicality of the business? So depending on who the customers are.
So if we're going demographics, it's funny because we have this conversation often. 60 to 65% of our Smash customers are women. So that might tell you something. Maybe as men, we get on their nerves. So they have some rage, but 60 to 65% of our Smash customers are women. Um, so we can serve anyone from 3 years old, in our paint rooms, um, up we that's a family thing. That's a kid's birthday experience. Our paint rooms are a good date night. So you get a lot of families. I'd say our primary demographic is, you have your husband, wife, couple, and then, one or two kids. So we average about 3 people per booking. Um, so 3 years old on the paint, to smash 8 years old, and to throw axes to them age is 13 years old. I've had 60-year-old, 70-year-old people in here throwing axes. Seems to be, an older demographic that enjoys the axe throwing. We have an axe throwing league now. Um, so we do that once a week. Um, so I wish I could pin down a demographic for you, really. Um, we get all walks of life in here. On the weekend, you'll see it's kind of like a mini New York on a Saturday. You have every walk of life, you have every demographic, every age, you know what I mean? So it's just everyone. I know that's a dream, right? You, as a business owner, you want everyone to be a customer. Well, we have that luxury. Unless you're a toddler who's 2 years old, sorry. But other than that, we can help everyone, and we do.
Perfect. So with these like customer groups or just, everyone, like what is the type of marketing that you guys do and like what have you found is the most effective? How is that broken down between you and the franchisor?
The franchisor, and this is just another reason why I love what they do. I'm a little older. I don't know if you can tell by the gray hair. The social media is done by the franchisor, and I think they do a bang up job. I love what they do. I don't have to worry about any of this, the TikTok and the Facebook and Meta and all these different ads. They take care of everything. They run our Google ads. Our Google ads are performing amazingly, and that's all something the franchise does for us. We pay for it, but they do it. I don't have that extra work to worry about. So as far as the franchise is concerned, they're doing a heck of a job with our social media. Um, Marketing wise, on our own, I am a big believer in relationships. I would not have been successful in what I did previously if it wasn't for people and being in the community. I am a big believer in networking. Anyone who's considering buying a franchise, 3 to 4 months before you open, you need to be in the community, creating that excitement. You can't just sit on your behind and expect the franchise to do everything for you, because they do a lot. But if you want to be wall to wall on the day you open, you need to be in the community. So we've joined the local chamber right away. And we call that our sales team, so to speak, because we created excitement in the community months before we opened. And when they knew our opening date, they came out in full force. You got to get out there. So we believe in that. We believe in supporting local charities. We are involved in one way or another, whether it's on the board or just as supporters for many local charities. And it does not increase your marketing expense, really. Um, but we support them. We have for example, we have a pediatric cancer benefit every year. We had our second one, hundreds of kids and their parents. They're all suffering from pediatric cancer in one way. It's the parents who need relief, financial and stress relief for a night. The kids who are in remission who need to just let off some steam, and then the siblings who maybe aren't given as much attention as the sibling who's battling cancer. So we have a pediatric benefit here, which costs us very little, support from the community, and it not only warms the heart, but we believe it's great exposure. So you can give to the community and be a profitable business. So I would say to anyone looking at a franchise, don't just sit on your behind and expect Google and all these ads to work for you. You got to get out there. You've got to talk about your business, and that's, in my opinion, it's one of the things that had us profitable from day one is that community involvement.
And on that point, in terms of like team events or, corporations like coming to like your facility like as a team, like does that tend to happen? And if it does, like how do you reach them?
All the time. It starts with that community activism. So a lot of so when I'm out in the community talking to chamber members or any other business owners, I go straight to the team building. Hey, you need to get your employees out here. Um, I think it comes through. I think it's important to do what you love. And I think when I communicate to local business owners to have them come out, I think they see the excitement on my face. I think they can tell that I love this business and I create that excitement for them. So we had Enterprise Rent a Car here today. We've had to rent cars before. Well, you're talking to the customer service representative. I'm a little low, but I'm always wearing my ISmash shirt everywhere I go. Um, there's always an opportunity to talk about what you're doing, and you should. Um, so Enterprise is here today because we just had a conversation out in the community. And that's what it's about. Just conversations, cashiers. I got Publix coming in here next week. And I was there earlier buying lunch, and someone approached me and, oh, we got to go out and, doing a group rate. And just, it's you got to have the conversations. And we do that organically because we love what we do.
What do you think? I wonder if you're particularly good at, not to flatter you, but you seem to be very good at, maybe it's, from insurance, so you seem to be very like social, very good at communicating.
I
So,
appreciate that.
so is that something that a prospective franchisee needs to have? They need to be charismatic in short.
Need? No. Does it help? Yes. But everything I'm saying can be, I can teach you, I can teach anyone to speak the way I do. Because if you love what you do, it'll come easy. If you believe in what you do, it'll be easy. So you don't have to be this great talker as soon as become a franchisee. We can teach you those skills if you want to learn them. Some people unfortunately don't in life. But I think it's important, and you can be taught those skills. And I didn't become this polished. I wasn't this polished when I was in my 20s, my friend. It took a little bit, took some experience, um, but it can be taught, and I think it's important for any business owner to learn how to improve. If you think you're not a good speaker, well, there's a ton of programs out there that are designed to help people who need that extra push to become extroverts. So I think it can be learned, and it's not necessary, but it can help.
So the natural question that arises here is that like with franchising, a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions. So either that, this is just like a job, you like have to come and do things all the time, right? But also like it's stressful, or that it's a completely passive investment, like you just put in the money and now you're like, chilling. So it seems like you're not doing either one of those. So if you just help us understand, like, I guess, like, what is your day to day like? So basically, if you're not doing that community outreach, how will like your business be growing? Like, can it be replaced? Like, yeah.
Can be replaced. I enjoy the community activism personally. I love it. Can I replace it? Yeah. Can I divert? Can my time be spent doing something else that'll also make us a profit? Yeah. Oh yeah. We've started doing some streaming TV ads. We've got so many different things we're doing. My time can be diverted and done doing different things, but I enjoy it. The return on investment is great too. Um, I am not I believe that everyone here should know how to do everyone's job, especially owners. I can't imagine not getting into a room and cleaning it and shoveling debris. I think we as owners need to do that. We need to do every job. But I'm not a slave to this business. Um, I know some people become slaves to their business and like restaurant workers. I've heard it from restaurant owners often to work in 80-hour weeks. I have the luxury that I don't have to do that. Um, I like being here though. I'm I work I don't work a full day, 6 days a week, but I'm here 6 days a week in some capacity. I love what I do. I love my business. Um, so I enjoy it. I enjoy the people I work with. So it's not a job. Can I hire someone to do what I do? Oh yeah, I can hire a GM. Do I want to pay an extra 40, 50 grand a year to a GM? No, I'd rather keep the money in my pocket, especially since I love what I'm doing. And but you can hire a supervisor. When my partner and I need to close, we have people here that can cover for us, key holders. So on a Saturday night, we want to go out and go to the hockey game. Hey, you're closing tonight. Okay, and leave. So we're not slaves to this business. We've got a lot of freedom to take time off. I just went on a cruise this month, so
I think to me,
hopefully another one next month. Right.
yeah, to me, one thing that appeals to me about business ownership is agency. So it's just an important idea for me. The fact that, like, it's kind of like you talk about when you're like an hourly employee and you're just trading time for money and you just need to do that. So that can be a painful life. And you feel like a slave and you feel it's real, like when you're an employer. And at the same time, people like to talk of passive investments. But when you make passive investments like real estate, they don't tend to grow that fast. And there is almost nothing you can do to make them grow faster. So when you have a business, you have agency. So you can use your brain, use your creativity, use your connections, work harder if you want to. You have the option of making it go faster or slower. That to me is like something I find appealing.
Love that. I love that word agency. I own an agency,
Right.
and in anything I've ever done, I'm only as successful as the people I surround myself with. Honestly, um, when I owned my agency, I treated my employees like owners. I cut them in on profits. We did team building exercises. They were like family. Same thing here. I had low turnover at my old company, and we have low turnover here because we treat our employees well. I can't see how some companies treat their employees poorly. You'll get so much more out of people if you just show them some respect, some love. You ask them for input. We ask our employees, and we have 7 or 8 high school kids working here. We ask them for their input. That goes a long way. They're on the lookout for ways to improve my business. Simply because I ask, hey, what do you think of this? How can we improve this? If I didn't ask them those questions, they wouldn't tell me. So I have buy-in from them. They're loyal and they're compensated correctly. So I've only been as successful as the company I keep.
So we'll get a little bit more technical once again. This time we're talking about like prices and money, all that stuff. Um, so I guess we have several questions. So like who sets the pricing? Then what is like the average spend per customer? And then kind of like as the third part, in terms of like royalties and the split between the franchisor and the franchisee, like how does that work?
So we'll start from the top. Um, Price per booking. We have an average price per booking. We ran that last month. It was about $142 per booking. And there were my partner and I argue. He says we have an average of 2.9 people per booking. I say three people per booking because
That
there's no
sounds
such thing as
scary.
2.9 people. Right. Somebody's lost a limb. I don't know. So we have discussion often. So it's about three people per and about $140 total for a booking. Um, as far as the royalties are concerned, it's not much, I don't want to give away anything I'm not supposed to according to my disclosure documents. So I don't know what I can say there. All I know is I can say it's below most other royalties with other companies. I can put out there. And as far as setting prices, that was a collaborative effort between us and the franchise. They had some suggestions, and then we did an analysis of like businesses in the area, and then priced accordingly. We've taken two price increases in the past, two or three prices increases in the past 3 years, past a year and a half, I should say, um, but nothing significant. Um, so it was a collaborative effort. Um, so Tuesdays are half off smashes, are two lower packages. So you can get in here on a Tuesday and break some stuff for as low as $20 a person. Um, the average starting ticket is $40 per person to do an axe. I'm sorry, to do a paint or smash session.
Perfect. And then on this point, so you mentioned the marketing fee that goes to like national marketing that ISmash does that for social media or Google ads. So I guess there's like royalty. So, well, everyone can look up the, percentage on the FDD. But is there like anything else, any other fees that franchisees pay? And kind of like as the business grow, as like the sales grow, like how does that reflect in the fees, if it does?
No, that was another thing that was attractive is there weren't any surprises. There weren't any fees that couldn't be explained. You have your royalties. You have your initial upfront franchise fee, right? So we'll start at the top. You have your monthly marketing fee, which I'm gonna hate myself for saying this. Don't raise my marketing fee, Steve. But it's only a few $100 a month, and I'm getting a lot. I'm getting a lot of bang for my buck. Don't raise the fee on me, Steve. And then you have your royalty, right? Your monthly royalty, which is low compared to other companies. And then you have your um, technology fee, like your accounting fee. So that's it, and that's small. So there aren't really that many fees. I mean, you do have your costs for you got your payroll, you got your insurance, you got your rent. That's all based on your market. But as far as the franchise is concerned, there aren't as many fees as one might think.
Perfect. So we have another question from Siva. So over time, the customers may be bored of doing the same activities at IceMesh. Are there any plans, ideas to introduce new experiences? And right now, I believe you have four, right? So the smash room, the axe throwing, like paint
Paint room.
throwing. Okay, and what's the fourth one?
We don't have a fourth one yet. However,
Oh, perfect.
however, nice little segue into what could be the fourth. One of the reasons why we're big on iSmash as a franchise, and we went back, we could tie it into one of the first things we discussed on this call. Steve and the franchise, they want to hear suggestions from us. If it fits with the family entertainment umbrella, Steve's all for it. If it makes sense, so who's to say that if I can get a 10,000 square foot facility, that I can't have a golf simulator in our building, a baseball simulator, a virtual reality room. There are a lot of possibilities, um, entertainment wise, for us to add value if we wanted to. And the franchise is open to all suggestions. If it works, um, they want to hear about it. So if we have our way and can get the right size facility, um, we may offer another activity.
Okay, another question from the audience is, how do you feel about being the very first franchisee in a brand that might have hundreds of locations? And I think, yeah, like overall, a lot of prospects like wonder about an emerging brand. So you were like the first franchisee. It's basically like starting, your own business.
It and I joke with Steve Shortino about this a lot. As the first franchisee, as the first anything, okay, there are learning curves. You're going to make some mistakes. We've learned a lot together. I am not I am not one to hold back. I want personally, and I think I'm doing a decent job at it. I want to talk to every future franchise prospect, right? For ISmash, because I believe in what we've done here in this store. Some of the mistakes that we made at the beginning, which weren't the franchise's fault, just some growing pains, and then some of the ideas we've implemented in order to help us become more profitable and more efficient. I want to share my experience with everyone. Um, so we made some mistakes, and I want future franchisees to not make the same mistakes I did. So I want to have a conversation with all of them, if I can. I enjoy it. I think it's important, not just as the first ISmash franchisee, but as a business owner, to share what I've learned. Why am I going to be selfish and not share my experience and not want someone else to be successful? I I want these future franchisees to kick my butt, get perform better than I can. Go for it. I'd be happy for you because you're going to increase visibility for the rest of the company. So have at it. Now I'm competitive and I like winning, but I will not be butthurt, so to speak, if Farmingdale, Long Island kicks our butt. Go for Omaha. Omaha beat us in December. We had a little contest, brand new. I love it. Beat us all day long. I I get a kick out of helping new franchise owners. So it's fun for me. So I want to give them, I believe it's important to teach, honestly. So sorry, I can talk about this for hours. It's something I enjoy, and I think it's important for us to share. So it's too much. There's so much opportunity to be successful that we should be helping each other, honestly.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of franchising, that you can like, see them succeed, they can learn from you, but you have your own like protected territory. So no one is like kind of taking away your success. Um, it's only kind of like either growing the brand or inspiring or informing you. But you have like your territory to succeed. So personally, I just think like that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll go into like the numbers a little bit more again. So in terms of like startup costs and the period to ramp up to profitability, like what is that like? How long are
We
we?
we were profitable month one
Oh,
as soon as we opened. That's our marketing efforts. That was the community activism. If we created that excitement months prior, so we were gangbusters day one. So we were profitable month one.
that's
That's why
amazing.
that's huge. That's huge, but it can be done.
Yeah.
You gotta put in that initial work. So we were profitable month month one. As far as build out costs are concerned, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. We had an empty shell of a building, which we won't make this mistake, but that increased our build out costs by $100,000. So we were at 300,000 probably to build this store, because we had nothing here. So we won't make that mistake again.
So that's very interesting because we work with a lot of sets of people called searchers, and they're always looking for cash flowing businesses because they are worried about, if you are doing a franchise, just the period it takes to get to profitability. So it's almost like if you can start the business with marketing before launch that is profitable from day one, it's almost like you're acquiring a cash flowing business.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And the franchise, I know some franchisees get paid monthly. We we get paid frequently. So you don't have to worry about a cash flow problem from the franchisor because they pay us quick. I don't know if I can say how quickly they pay us, but it's I'm getting deposits every day, uh, a lot of them, nice size ones. So we don't have a cash flow problem. Um, it was very nice to start making money day one. Um, so we're excited, man. We're growing. December. Oh, so we talked, earlier we talked about cycles. Someone mentioned about business cycles that in yapping like I do, because I can go on for hours. We did experience, some cycles. So for us here in Tampa, the summer was just insane. It was crazy. Super busy. There wasn't a day, even during the week, where we weren't just packed. Um, so that was amazing. Um, November through last week was just insane. That whole holiday season, um, company holiday parties, team building after the holiday, um, all these Christmas events, gift cards. So that was another huge cycle. So our it depends on weather, it depends on school, right? For a lot of locations, I like to say, if I'm not mistaken, I should say, Rochester has a little different cycle. They're a little slower during the summer because people are out, the weather's nice, doing stuff. There's no more snow on the ground. People want to be indoors here in Florida, so our AC is pumping and they're comfortable enjoying our three activities. So there are cycles, um, but none of them low. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? We have our bursts. We have our 6 months of insanity, and then the other 6 months are profitable and very good. But you can breathe and be like, all right, huh. I don't have to go grab a shovel. I don't have to go sweep. I don't have to unload a truck because we have a delivery here and there's 100 people in the place. So there are cycles. So I apologize for pivoting. I noticed that was a question I missed earlier.
No, this is great. And I guess on this point, so how many like employees do you need to staff the business? I guess while in operation during this like high season or low season, like do you let people go in between? And kind of like just how many people is that and what are the roles that you hire?
We've got so we have my partner and I here, 40 hours a week each in various roles. We have 9 to 10 employees right now, mostly high school kids, to help clean and set up rooms. And um, we have one high school kid who helps us at the front desk, greeting customers, taking them to their experience. Um, some of the other kids are trained to do both roles. So we have about 9 to 10 employees right now. Um, one or two of them are key holders. So, they can open for us if we're running late, or they can close or we have something to do. Um, but we believe in hiring youth. We believe in hiring high school kids. I was an at-risk teen myself. So we hire a lot of at-risk teens. We believe it's our mission, our duty to help these young men become successful, well-adjusted, marketable older men, when they're in college and after college. So um, we hire a lot of teenagers and try to instill some work ethic in them and teach them business and life skills. So it's mostly teenagers. We have one or two moonlighters, want to make some extra money on the weekends. You know what I mean? And we haven't had to let anyone go. Um, we cut hours down a little bit if we need to, but we haven't had to let anyone off. lay anyone off.
That's awesome. So there was a question that maybe you tried to escape, but we'll have to ask. It's up to you to answer or not. But I guess like how much do you make per location or overall, whatever you can share on this, because people ask about this the most.
They do, and like I said, and I don't want to violate my, I have an NDA, so I don't know what I can and cannot disclose. So I'll sprinkle this. I think I can say this without getting in trouble. December, we hit, I don't know, 75,000 in gross sales, right? So after sales tax, 7%, do the math, let's say 70,000 in sales after sales tax. We operate at a 25 to 30% profit margin. Do the math. I'm not going to make it easy for you to determine the number, but I can share what my sales were for December. I can share for you what our profit margins run, de- depending on payroll and what have you. So 70,000 at a 25 to 30% profit margin. That should tell you something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So another question from Brandon, coming back all the way to like your beginning. What do you wish you knew before you got started with ISmash?
Oh man, it's another 4 hour answer I can give you. Um, I wish I knew that iSmash would be a destination. For example, we could have been in the same town, highly trafficked roadway, little recessed shopping center. We could have been in a bigger location and saved $5,000 a month in rent. But we chose to not go with this location because it was less traveled. The shopping center, it looked like a dead shopping center. Had we known then what we know now, we would have driven customers to that location. We would have revived that shopping center because of what we do. We have people coming an hour and a half. We track where people come from. We have people driving an hour and a half to come to our location. They would bypass the other smash room to come to us. Had we known we would have been a destination, we would be even more profitable than we are now. So that's probably number one, realizing that we are a destination. People will travel. Two, I would have, I would not have went into an empty space. I would have went into a building that had pre-existing plumbing, AC, and sprinklers, and some of these things in place. So it would have cut our costs down. And probably number three is I would have went with SBA funds. Our future friend, or actually, people have signed franchise agreements recently for ISmash are having an easy time getting SBA loans. It's amazing. I didn't know it would be that. It was like giving away money. Had I known then, I would have went after it instead of using my own cash. So those are probably the three things.
Thank you so much. And we just have the last question. So, like, what's your advice for, prospective franchisees thinking of maybe this space, like location-based entertainment, or just entering like an emerging brand? Yeah, like your words of wisdom.
Well, I would say, call me. I want to hear from you. Um, I would say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You have to take a, I could preach all day long. Don't be afraid, especially for this franchisees. Maybe it's best that I speak about iSmash. Don't be afraid because you've got a world of help. We have so much experience to offer future franchisees. We have town hall meetings. We have separate meetings from franchisees. We talk all the time, sharing best practices. So don't be don't be afraid to take a leap. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Um, I mean, there's so many things I could tell. It's if you're going to look at, and I've looked at other franchises. I have. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say I've looked at some restaurant franchises and with lower profit margins, higher royalties. Um, I I've done the research, so I know this was a good fit. Um, I don't know what else to tell you. I can go on for hours and ramble. How you cannot invest in the I Smash franchise is a better question. You know what I mean? Like the writing's on the wall. People are excited about what we do. The franchise fees are low. The royalties are low. The system has grown immensely in the past 2 years. The amount of experience that we have to offer future franchisees is massive. So I don't know. I'm bullish. I would say reach out to the franchise, at least have a conversation with Steve, with our sales team. Um, we're not going to strong arm you. You know what I mean? Like it's just make a phone call, make a contact. And what does it cost you? Absolutely nothing.
So if people want to speak with you, what's the best way to reach you?
I would tell them ismashtampa@gmail.com is the our email here. I'm always answering our email. I don't mind giving out my cell phone. I will do it now. I'll do it here with you. Give out my cell phone if someone wants to have a conversation, wants to shoot me a message. I don't mind having a conversation. If it gets to be too much, I guess I'll have to change my cell phone number. But I can give it out. So it's 813-220-8474. And you can text me anytime. If it's after 11 p.m., I probably won't answer it till the following day. But I'll answer any question I can. And if it's above my pay grade, I'll refer you to Steve and the franchise, and I'm sure they would be happy to have a conversation.
Thank you so much. We'll share the contact information with people attending, like in an email after. But this was amazing. This was very insightful. You were very generous. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity to talk for an hour, and I didn't have to take care of customers. I don't have to clean up any of the rooms. I love it. This was great. You did me a favor.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everyone. We'll follow up.